There we go. Let's see. There we go. Okay, I have my mic. All right. A little technical difficulties along the way. Good morning, my neighbors. Welcome to another episode of BYTTT. Before you take the trade, kind of switched up stuff again. Let me get this working. Okay, there's the light that I want, and then let's just tweak this just a little bit. There we go. Get this going the way I want it. All right. That looks good. That looks good. All right. Welcome to another episode of BYTTT. Before you take the trade, I am not on the road this time, right? But I do want to share that, God's going to do it. Let me put that on there. God's going to do it. This is from my cousin a couple years back, his little movement. But today I'm excited. I had a couple of good news that came by just overall, and I'm just so excited. But anyways, we got a lot of work to do. Let's go ahead and get right to the charts in itself. Let me go ahead and switch this up. So the first thing we're going to talk about is NQ. Look at this bad boy go. Actually, we're going to start all our drawings over since we got so much price action. But we could kind of see. Actually, let me bring. Not this, not this, not this, not this, not this. Where are you? Boom. Okay, boom. And look at that. That looks like a bona fide W. That is telling us that there is going to be some upside. Now, I did not think that we could do a W at this point. We would have to break out this center pivot. Can we get the whole entire measure move? I have my reservations on that, but if it looks like a duck and it walks like a duck, then you gotta treat it like a duck. And right now, that W looks like a W, and we're gonna probably see some more upside to that side. Maybe get to retest that level. Maybe come for the fair value gap because there's a nice little fair value gap we did not address when we kind of made this run. So this probably was a retracement just so that way they can go back and come get that cleanup. The only thing that's making me pause is again the Fed made a major announcement. A very good catalyst for us to continue to the upside. 50 basis points. Some predicted that it's going to be only 25 basis points, but it did 50. I think just generally, it's the talks of possibly another 50 that's really driving this, and I'm very curious on what ends up happening. That said, excuse me. That said, we're probably going to go ahead and get a little bit of price action kind of being tossed all over the place. Hold on, let me just get one last thing do done because I forgot to share my link again to the community. Shareable link. Boom. Alright. We are live. Alright, sent that over to them. Boom and boom. So yeah, I'm very curious on how that's going to pan out. But watch this. So this is oil, right? Again, I kind of told y'all a little bit about contract expirations before, and contract expirations can have such a weird effect on the market in itself. And you can kind of see we had a nice little gap, that gap down, and when we made that gap down, it allowed for it to kind of go refill it. I want to see if they comes back to that order block above $72. That will make things interesting. But overall, when you look at this chart, it is on that downward decline. But generally speaking, with oil, we are in this forever consolidation up here, got some greens, got some reds, and all that. So I think this is going to be our block when it's all said and done. All right, so now we got gold. Gold went off, and I mean gold went off. It literally like it helped rocket the rest of the market if you really think about it. Because as gold is going up, it's literally beating up the dollar, and you can kind of see how this chart. It's just very vertical, not as bad as here, there, right? But it's kind of like that nice little drifty up. showing that people are just accumulating as it's going up. So I'm very curious on where gold goes from here. But I do think that there's going to be some sense of pullback when it's all said and done. And then silver, again, I love this chart because this chart tells me a lot about gold. And you can kind of see we're back above that trend here. I want to see if we're going to break out and then break above this level. If that's going to be the case, that means we're probably going to talk about gold getting closer to that. What was it? I think it's 3,000. That's good. Yeah, probably 2,800 an ounce. We're probably gonna get there. Probably gonna get there. British pound. Now this one right here is gonna be very interesting because again, this one is driven by the market in a way because as they're going up, it's driving the dollar down. So you want this to kind of go up with your stocks and options as well. And right now, it is telling me that even though we had a pullback, we came back under the trend line. They are fighting to keep it above there and probably going to continue to that upside. So I'm very curious on how it reacts going forward here. And then we got ourselves ES. You already know they're trying to fill the gap on NQ. ES is making new highs. This is that 5,700 going into there as far as the continuous chart. Now again, the continuous chart is one of those things that you gotta kind of take it with a grain of salt, just like the gaps itself, right? There's gaps on the continuous chart, but it's just price adjustment reasons. It's not like they actually gap price up. If you actually go to the specific contract, you'll be able to kind of see that it's kind of flowing a little bit more smoother. But if you look at it, that is basically the space between 3 months from now to now, right? Because this is a futures contract. So I'm very curious on what level are they looking for on the in the future price of ES and where they're going to probably come back and reassess and pull back into this area, which would bring us into that 56.42. Now, I'm thinking maybe because NQ had left that little bit of a fair value gap to that upside, maybe that's why they're going back up there, and that's probably the objective that S&P 500 is looking for. So look for QQQ to fill its fair value gap, and then or maybe reject, and then that might be the reason we go back inside of this space down below. All right, and then now we got the Russell. Russell is above that order block that I told y'all about a while back, and that order block is looking like it's going to give it up. Right, so I want to see Russell get above into that 2,300, maybe come back and retest inside of this order block, and then give us a nice little bounce to there. That would be more healthier. But again, nice smooth golden cross that happened back here. This was roughly around December 2023, and we just been like slow and steady winning the race to that upside. Now got a W, and it's going to continue up. Now again, just like what we looked at on NQ. I'm not looking for this W to go ahead and just pan out and be like, you know what, we're going to do 100% of the move to that upside. These W's are on the top of an uptrend. They tend to not give you the full measure move. But if you aim for like 50 to 25% of the measure move and then start to kind of scale in and allow for yourself to kind of like, use a runner to kind of sweep the rest, that's fine. But I would not be at full leverage trying to get the entire move. I think that would be a little dangerous in itself. All right, and then we got the dollar, the infamous dollar, and it's trying its best to get out of this block. I told y'all about this a while back. This was built on the weekly, and you can kind of see that this order block is really tough. That not a lot of price action gets below here. So I'm looking to stay above this 99,578 going into 2025. That's just my assumption, and we can kind of see how this block is holding here. So if we can get a nice little bounce here, we should be good to go when it's all said and done. So we'll see what happens overall, and we're going to try to knock it out. We got like about 60 seconds. Give me a minute, and we're going to get ourselves set up for our orb. All right, that is our bell. Let's go ahead and get over to NQ. Get ready for our orb. So the market is going to be very toppy. Like you see how this MACD is on the 15-minute. So I do think we kind of drifted a little bit. So we'll see what happens there. Oof. You know what I did not do? This is what happens when you break rhythm. I did not log into my accounts. Let's go ahead and get that done. Alright, I got Thinkorswim done already. After the debacle the last time. And then this one here. Alright. So I got that set up. Looks like the pizza is still moving. Probably should have just added to it because now pizza is actually, let me go ahead and show y'all what's going on over there. I've been holding on to some extreme longer term play on this one, and we kind of got on top of that block itself, and gonna see what happens. Gonna see what happens. I'm really curious to see if we can get into probably this gap. My real target is around here, 56.10, somewhere around there, and see if we can build a support overall. But that's more of a longer term play in itself. So I like what pizza is doing. Let's see. Actually, I got you backwards. I want to make sure my P&L is already set up. So if we do take a trade, we should be fine. All right, boom, got that, and everything looks good. All right, so now let's go ahead and talk about some levels on QQQ, right? If we're going to do stocks and options, what will be an area of interest that they probably would look for to see if they can kind of play around a little bit? Let's see. I would say on the downside, maybe get back to 470. That'd probably be an area, and let's go ballsy. Let's go a little crazy. Let's go with 493. 493. We're already here. Go fill the gap. Let's see if that happens. So I'm thinking 493, maybe 469. Those are probably the areas I would consider for a day trade. Let's see if we can get those targets. All right, let's go back over to NQ. Let's see what happens with our orb. What we are doing. All right, so 15 minutes. You already know how I do the orb. It is very simple. I take the first 15-minute candle, boom and boom, and we're going to be bullish above here at this level here. I'm going to readjust that later, and then we're going to be bearish below its breakout down here. Let's go ahead and zoom in real quick and see what these levels are. So we got this one here, roughly speaking, this one here, and we'll get to that. As we wait for this thing to form, let's go ahead and check out some of my lists. I was looking at Adobe, and the way Adobe is looking, right, I feel like it's in a very bearish type of state. I kind of had this thesis a while back, so don't mind that. I did not play this all the way through. I played a partial, and then it had a nice little recover on it. So let's go ahead and clear these drawings. Boom, boom, boom. So now I'm thinking, because we kind of did this double bottom, this is what is coming up on my radar as possible bearish, right? They are pushing it up, but we coming off of a major drop, and it kind of looks like an M. I think that's what's probably triggering that. But the way the stochastic and the MACD is looking, I think they could give it another push, maybe come into that gap. So I want to see how this month ends. But I would say, if you ever played Adobe, this could be a good one to put on your radar, so that we can kind of see, do we take this whole entire fair value gap? Very, very curious on that. And then AMD, you already know semis is way of the world. Everybody is getting into semis, and it's getting deeper and deeper into that profit margin, especially the way NVIDIA is doing. Let's go take a peek at NVIDIA while we look at this. Look at that. So NVIDIA got to that 91. I'm so mad about that miss. I really thought they were going to get to that level, but you know, that was a massive drop, and they recovered it real well. A little after we tried to get to that 101, I thought we was going to get that good M pattern, but they really liquidated the bears on this one with this nice run up. So I think this is probably a second shot at it, and they're trying to kind of like wedge price. Now, wedging price can go either bullish or bearish, right? So now I want to see if we can get back up into that upper register here, break out, and then that should give you that W type of action, very similar to NQ. But because it's such a wedging action, maybe we come right back down and then get some noise support and then we break through. So keep an eye on those two things. Maybe that's why it's on that radar. And then on the bullish side, we got Tesla. Tesla looks really, really good for bullish side. Oops, I want to do that. I want to get rid of drawings. There we go. Does look really good on the bullish side. I think what Tesla is doing is a nice little accumulation phase right here, and this could be the one that's really powering the cues for that W. If we get a nice little follow of this upward trend and it just never gets affected, we already broke what would be this downward trend right here, right? So this is a nice little slow and steady as they break through. Now here's our resistance line at the pivot, and you're looking at 233, 234. A breakthrough there, we get into the fair value gaps and the gaps. Then we start to probably get into that 250 register, 260 register. So I'm very curious, is a Tesla the one that's going to actually drive the rest of the cues to that upside? All right, that's a lot of tickers I just went over. Let's go back over to NQ. Let's see what the chart looks like on that 15-minute. What are they doing? All right, we have ourselves that started to engulf a little bit. What I did notice while I was on the road this morning is that the 5-minute has been drifting up and has been putting in bearish divergences that just been bought up every single time. So I do think that there is some downside to this. It could be downside just for retracement to go ahead and continue to the upside. So I'm not saying get some, far out the world puts or anything like that. But this is a very interesting spot on where it is right now. And I'm very curious on where it goes going forward. So we'll see what happens with NQ in a little bit. All right, it's 9:37. All right, let's go ahead and check out the commodities. What's going on over there? So oil looks like it's kind of doing that double top action right here. Let's see if it can break this level right here. That's the level at 70.32. Gold, I do have an alert for 15 minutes to kind of let me know what's cracking over there. 15-minute, they try to push it. They still trying. They're still trying. Got a little bit of a micro trend right here. Come on, let's go. Got a little bit of a micro trend right here that is kind of pushing through. And if we can get past this level at 2607, we're gonna fill the rest of the fair value gap. Probably get to the target somewhere around 2614, and then probably silver looks very similar. Oh no, it doesn't. Kind of like that. Came back down. They didn't get the rest of it. I could see silver getting to that 31080. So that should make gold look a little interesting. British pound, we're in between the 50 and the 200 EMA. Probably could use this whole entire thing as an order block zone. Let me go ahead and highlight this whole entire area right here and see if we can break through there. If we can break through there, then my next target will be at the 200 EMA. Let's see here. This is the Russell. Russell looks like it's trying to pull back a little bit. Again, this one is a little bit toppy. Just a little bit. So let's see. Maybe we could get... Oh, perfect. It's already set. Probably get back to the 50% before we get a nice little bounce. Boom. Something along the lines of that. I just realized the dash line was there. But anyways, it looks like we can kind of go up to that upside. A nice little retracement. Bring us back into the order block. We got a nice little order block that's probably sitting around right here. And maybe get a nice little bounce from here. If we start to get it below the 200 EMA. Yeah, abandon ship. Abandon ship. Panic. Panic. All right. And then we got ourselves... Well, oh, you know what? I'm sorry. That's ES, not Russell. And then... Russell, oh, this makes things interesting. I want to see if the Russell can continue with this very engulfing type of 15-minute candle. If this one can, are they taking money out of the small caps? If they're taking money out of the small caps, where do you park it? Usually the large caps. So they think that the large caps are going up. So that means QQQ. Maybe they're going to go for the W. All right. We could probably see something of a nice little movement. I would love to see a retracement after 945 So we'll probably come and peek at this one a little bit later. I'm curious of what's going to happen there. And then the dollar. This thing's trying to get out of this block, and it does not look like it's going to win that fight, especially with the stochastic being at its upper register here. MACD is crossing over the zero line. Let's check what the 2 hours looking like. Jambalaya rice just looks so no momentum, no nothing. All right, let's get back over to NQ. All right, they recovered it well. Whoa, I click head and shoulders. That was by accident. All right, that's gone. All right, so we built a base right here. Bang, that was our base, roughly around the block that was here, and then here. And then for the indicator that I actually built here, I love the 45-minute here. So I could imagine possible retracement as soon as this candle closes in the next 3 minutes. So that said, let's go ahead and take a nice little peek. Right there. See what's going on with today. And I kind of said, let's go over to QQQ here. I was saying 493, 470, 493. Those are the two areas I'm looking at. So we got 493. Oh, that's a little far, but could have happened. You know what? I'm gonna just put it there. Oops, wrong one. Get out of there. I'm gonna put it there as a save order. Yeah, that's a good number right there. And then on the put side, I said 470. That's if the range stays like this. Let's find some other spots. You know what? Boom, boom, and boom. And let's find some other spots that we could probably go for. I like the 475 maybe. Let's go 475. 475 on the put side. And then on the call side, even 490 will make things interesting. 490 is right there, and then if we could get in the money in that target, that would be freaking great. I think 490. Let me try that. See how I feel about that when we get closer to it. So I got everything locked and loaded and ready, and see what the market's going to do. Let's go back over to NQ. Got about less than 2 minutes until we solidify the first 15 minutes of the open. You know, like some profit takings happening. Let me do this properly. The high is 20.073, and the low is 20,000.75. 20,003.75 is our low. And we'll see what happens. Let's see if we can get a break below or break above. To sit back, relax, and let the market come to you, and don't force anything. While we do that, let's go ahead and get to the news. My favorite is my FX book. We have existing home sales that's coming out in 15 minutes. So it's going to be the 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock is going to be our Fed balance sheet's going to be announced. 30-year mortgage rates. We got some auctions, 10-year auctions, 8-week bills. That's roughly 11:30, and then 1 o'clock. I think the 1 o'clock one is probably going to be a little bit more impactful. And then tomorrow's Friday. So Friday we have barely anything whatsoever. Probably going to get more overnight session because it looks like British pound has some stuff. Euro has some stuff, but and Canada has some stuff. But should be quiet until we get into next week, Tuesday. I don't even think Monday we have anything spectacular. You got some Fed speaking, and then Tuesday we're going to get some consumer confidence. I think that's probably going to be the most key one until we get to our cycle again with the jobs report and stuff. So that said, today's probably going to be where you make the good chunk of your money when it's all said and done. So Let's be smart. Let's find our entry. Oh, actually, I was supposed to do something for my card. Let me get that out the way as we wait for this to set up. And then we'll probably take some scalps. See what scalps we could probably grab out of the market here. All right, so that's that. That's that. This push up after our action yesterday, very surprising. But again, I think money was parked in the sidelines and they kind of piled in. So very good flow of cash, very good flow of movement. All right, so my high is 19,900. That's when we kind of rejected at that level. Kind of swept all those bulls. Oh my God, I know the bulls are crying bloody murder right now. They try to step right back in, so we'll see what happens there. These bulls are beating them up. All right, boom, got my level here. Let me just mark off this because we already addressed that one. 19,799.50. That would be a good retracement that I would be looking for. And this one would be 19,768.50. Just in case we break down to the bottom, I just want to kind of have an idea of what I'm looking for. So that's a couple of areas I think they might retest, use as support, and continue up. If those levels fail, we're probably going to get into the 19,549, and these puts are going to print. So we'll see what happens there. You know, be prepared. You know, plan for the upside, plan for the downside. We are traders. We are not investors. So don't just be completely biased in itself. Anyone that knows me, I've been working well on that one. So we'll see. We will see how that goes. All right, so we're still inside of this range. Let's see if we can find some scalps here. Let me see if what the 45-minute finish. Oh, they pulled it back too deep. So they already started taking their profits before that candle closed. So that idea is out the window. Let's see. That looks okay. And let me get that and we'll see where it goes from there. I'll get my paper. We'll do some paper scalps. Get our juices flowing a little bit as we wait for this breakout. Now, I do like how this rejection is happening. Our 5-minute is already showing us a little bit here. I'm going to show you what the 5-minute is doing. We're kind of doing something along the lines of this. If this holds, we're probably going to test this level and then break right out. So we'll see what happens there. That's why I was like, that bearish divergence looked very interesting. Now, the bearish divergence could be just entries, right? Pullbacks for entries. So just be very conscious of that and you should be fine. Let me put that there. Got a minute left on this 5-minute candle, so we'll see what happens there. Kind of looks like we're also wedging it too, because we got price action that looks like this. That could be. We're probably trapping price now, waiting to see which way the wind blows and what type of explosion we get. I'm thinking downside, only because of the bearish divergence, but we're still on the bullish side. All right, see if we can get this break. All right, that is our possible break. Oh, they expected to explode like that. I was going to think we were going to get a little bit of a pull up so I could kind of scalp this down, but this thing is kind of getting some steam. think this is as much of a pullback I'm gonna get. All right, let's lighten up the load. Oh, I don't have it on the screen for y'all. There we go. There's the two contracts. Ah, this thing is just take it off. Oh my god. I was gonna do a scalp on it, but you already know. As far as me doing this trade, I'm waiting for the 5 minute close below that level before I actually take it relatively serious to that downside. That way I can know there's confirmation that no buyers can control. So I am waiting for that to happen. I want to do a scalp here. Let's see if I can get another drop. There we go. Oh, they gave me a bad price. See how this one holds, because that was a real bad price. All right, let us see. Let me take one off if this thing kind of pulls back. Again, I'm in for a short time, not a long time. All right, it showed me 50, so I'm gonna take one of them off. Let's see what happens there. I don't think they're liquidating the bulls per se, but I do think there's some profit taking that's happening. I'm probably going to get some contracts switching hands. Let's see if we can hold this. We got 3 minutes left, and the break below would be in the orb. And the last time I did this and they ran away like this, I should have just waited for a pullback. So I may just look for a small entry for my options. Let me get myself ready, because we might be getting that now. And like I said, a couple ideas is 490s. No, sorry, 475 to 470s. That's the general idea for that. So I think I'm going to go the 470 route on one side. I like that 475 though. I really do. But this thing ran away so much that I know there may be a pullback. So I wonder if I could just kind of lightly dip a toe with a 470 and then just add some more when it starts to really continue. Yeah, you see, and that's what I was fearful of. You see how we kind of pulled back, but I already took one off the table. That contract made 130 bucks. Then they're gonna do this dance for a little bit, and then they're gonna just push this thing down. It's trying, and you could kind of see where the buyers are stepping in. Let's look at this price. The price here roughly around the ballpark of 1996. I think they're trying to build this as a base, so that way we can have some support that makes us stay above 20,000. So I'm probably gonna go ahead and risk maybe 20 ticks, 25 ticks to see if this runner can hold on. That way, I'm risking the profits that I just gained, and that's as far as I'm going to take it. But again, this was for a scalp, looking for it to hold longer, because this will finish as a opening range breakout. Yeah, they got deeper into it, and so I'm looking for the opening range breakout to hold, but it looks like they're not going to do that. Yeah, I gave it all back and then some. Yeah, and this is why when it has such a massive move on the opening range, that's why I don't like doing it when they have that movement where they just come right through it so fast, and then it doesn't close strong. This probably gonna be our bounce right here off the opening range. So it does make my call options a little bit more attractive, assuming that all these supporters are going to stay here. So let me see if I can take a scalp because I like to do it from the opening range breakout for y'all. It's still on paper. Let's see if I can get a little bit of a pullback, because this kind of like really pushed right through. See if there's any bears that's sitting in this imbalance here. This is a little tough area right here around that 20,020. Let's see if we can reverse it around here. This is what I'm looking for retracement. Assuming that we're going to go right back to the top here and break through this level. Now, could this be a reload for the bears and then they come down? Very possible. Could this be a one wide order block? Very possible. But just be sound with your entries. You should be fine. Don't do nothing reckless. We're gonna go with the same two contracts, so we're a little down, right? $200. All right, might be spinning our fate right here to the upside. I'm gonna give it a few more seconds to kind of see if it's actually going to hold. Don't like how that ended. Thought I was gonna hold above this level here. I was looking for it to kind of close above here on the 1 minute, and it looks like they're gonna give it back. Might give it a second chance and nope. These bears are here vicious. They are vicious. Are we gonna finish going through that block? Now it's starting to make my puts look very, very interesting now. It's almost like we're rejecting that 20,000 level. Good morning, good morning. Been a little minute. How you doing? Let's see if we can get. Let's see. Yeah, I think I might go with the 470 puts if this thing can close outside the opening range. That's probably what's going to end up happening. Probably. The Bulls are trying to hold it up. They're trying. $20,000 is a tough level. Alright, we got a minute and 21 seconds. So all I want to know, and the only way I'm going to take a trade other than a scalp to kind of like see what happens, I want this to break below this level. Then this will tell me that this trend line is holding a little bit. And I think that's what it's doing. Got 54 seconds. Are you going to buy it up again? I think you're not. I think this is going to do what I think it's going to do. So I'm thinking 2 contracts right now and a stop loss. Ooh, that is a deep stop loss. That's like 100 ticks. If that level can hold that, that's what I was looking for. But it looks like they're gonna close this inside of the range, which is very jerkish because they just recovered it at the last second. That's why it's very important you wait for the candle closes. This thing is not going to be good. So I'm gonna go ahead and close it now because I was looking for it, getting a little earlier to kind of come into here. So we got ourselves a nice little retracement inside of here. I did dip a toe on that position, assuming that we was gonna break through to that downside. But you can see Stoke, MACD, all of them wants to curl back up. Come back over to the 15-minute, you'll kind of see why my purpose is. 15-minute, we kind of crossed down and was kind of looking to kind of go back down. So I wanted to see if we want to recapture this wick back down to this downside. So it's not really padding out at that level. We do have some 10 o'clock news, which is not great news. It's nothing real spectacular, but can it play a little bit of a catalyst? Maybe. Let's see what happened. Home sales is bearish for the dollar, so that could push the market back up. Let's see if it's a bear trap or a bull trap. We will see. All right, back over to the 5-minute. If we take out this wick, I think we're going to cascade right into the 1 hour, and the 1 hour is just going to just like really drop. But we'll see. We'll see, because we finish as a bullish doji. That bullish doji can do a lot. I think this might be just a holding pattern. Let's see what happens. Like I said, I'm on a light position. Right now it's light, and the funny thing about it, let me show you the PL. It is doing not what I wanted to do, of course, because technology would be just great if it just did its job. All right, let me go fix this setting. For some reason, it's not on the right chart. This chart done. So it was showing me positive 5%. Now it's negative 5%. So I did a very light position on it, assuming this is the accumulation phase for them to kind of play this to the downside. Now, this is a very far distance. I am going with a 470. So this is a little crazy for the most part. Not saying we're going to get there. But with the news saying bearish for the dollar, it does not give me good confidence that's going to hold. So I'm going to risk probably 40 to 50% of this, only because I just did a light load of this one. Assuming our 5-minute is just probably resetting its oscillator. No real bull step in. We are in a bullish state here. And in the 15-minute, it really starts to get the stochastic down to here. I think we kind of pushed up on a light volume, but anything will go. Just be smart with your positions. Slow drip to the upside. They're just walking it up. I'm down like 15%. Now, what would really suck, and the market can have a tendency on doing that. We made a massive move, and it starts to build the new base that they need. Now, that base can be rally base drop or rally base rally, and it kind of does that stair step away. So that's a lot that can happen now. That would kill the theta of my contracts. Right? That would just I'm sorry, the theta will kill the delta of my contracts and make it very less and less valuable. So I would love for this thing to pick a side and just trend, but when you operate the chart that they give us, right, so they're really, really, really trying to recapture in that area. I did not want to see this thing above 20,000, and since I did go in very aggressive with a light load, I am going to see this out. I'm thinking we're just coming in for more accumulation to downside. At 5 minutes, starting to really build momentum. Probably going to get that cross and continue. If it gets around this area, probably close, and then when we get a close above here, I'm gonna break. I'm gonna take the breakout. Now the contract I picked. Okay, that was weird. My mic just froze up. There we go. So this is my condenser mic. It just froze up on me. And then this is my webcam. Yeah, I think I got it working again. Oh, that's weird. Okay, so I might have to restart my computer, find out what's going on with my sound box. That was weird. Appreciate that. Thank you. No, it wasn't the connection. It was literally my mic. Like it showed that I was talking, and then it just froze green, saying I was still talking, and I wasn't saying anything. So some type of error probably kicked in. All right, I got one of my bullish alerts just happened. I'm still gonna hold on to this thing because I'm thinking, yeah, they're gonna try to push this up. Let's go back over to, and you can see what Tesla's doing right there. They're really starting to push that back up on the 1 hour. On this 5 minute, it pulled back, and now they're trying to take new highs. So I think that was a retracement. They got really, really close to what would have been an opening range breakout. But what I was saying earlier, thank you. What I was saying earlier is that there's a program that I have with this new software that I have, and supposedly I can switch to my iPad and like in midstream, right? So I'm gonna test that just to kind of see how that works. So by all means, I can hang out after 10:15, but we're gonna probably do a hard stop at 10:15 since this thing's consolidating and chopping up a little bit. hmm Now the 5 minute is crossing the MACD line to the upside, so this could have been a retracement just to bounce and make the MACD just push up right now, triggering a few stop losses as they were doing that. Because we had a nice hammer. This was a nice hammer on the 5 minute, and you would think that this would have kicked off and played to the down, but he's like, no, they bought the dip on that one. All right, we got ourselves like 60 seconds left. Don't mind her. Nah, thank you. I appreciate that. Been a little minute. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna hit you up when I hit the road. It's been a while since we caught up. Hopefully, you're not busy at work. Yeah, they're gonna try to open the range, break that out this thing. Give it a few more seconds, see how that goes. Let's say I was gonna risk like 25. I mean, about 50%. It's not looking good, so I think I might go ahead and take this off before I get on the road. Ooh, are you gonna double top here? Did you complete your objective? Did we hit our day's high? So we're at the level that we rejected before, which was the current high of the day. We just came back way too fast, so I could see this thing kind of continue to that upside. You really gonna do that right now? I just said I was recording, and that's my little one. It just has to come on the camera.
The camera's on?
Yes, it is. Goodbye.
Can't touch this. It's not charging.
All right, no problem. Could we get our first part of the rejection here? Not again. I'm not saying for y'all to counter trend trade. That is not what I'm just saying. The way this opening range breakout happened, it made me curious to see, are we going to really take off to that top? Um, the target that we would be going for is probably the fair value gap on the daily that we did not address the last time we was down here. Um, I think there's a reason that fair value gap was built. I don't know if all the ones that short the market got out of the market, kind of going with the buy the rumor, sell the news type of mindset. But we'll see. I was going to close it, but I changed my mind. I think I'm going to wait for it to make a new high, then I'll close it. But this could be a nice little opening range breakout to the upside. Let's see what they did to the 15-minute. I told myself it was going to be a hard stop. I love trading too much. They're trying to get, yeah, this 15-minute. Can they get this 15-minute to kind of pin itself right back up on the stochastic? I think that's what they're going to be looking for. The 1 hour, still bullish, kind of open here. They're trying to recapture, let me get this out of the way, the 1 hour wick. Is there an area here that the bears are sitting, waiting? All right. Yeah, let me go ahead and I'll close this off. I'm surprised that it only did 25% of damage and I can get off of it. I am a little surprised on that. Because I got in at the bottom of that range. So I think there's some people that still think that this is going to be going down. All right, so let's go ahead and see for opening range breakout. I can't help but to find out if we're going to hold this. Let me see what my 45 minutes is doing. No. That was good accumulation. I feel like it's froth, but this thing could probably really take off here. All right, we got 1 minute left. We got a new high of the day. But it's like I'm looking at the premiums and the options. I don't know if y'all could see that. For the movement we just made, it's not like this premium is shooting either up or down. Like I said, I am still a little surprised that I wasn't down like 50% by the time we got to this green line. All right, we got a candle close. I'm gonna be on the road. I won't be able to monitor this. Yeah, I would get in here for that opening range breakout, and what I would be targeting in this, like I said, I'm gonna be on the road. It's gonna be tough for me to actually be in this. And I don't like how the premium is moving. And we're in quad witchy. Maybe that's why all this is happening. Yeah, nah. I'm gonna leave this alone. Now this thing could just really take off, but just be smart with your entry. I don't like how the delta is moving.